Welcome students. Today we are going to read the chapter Easwaran the Storyteller, written by R.K. Lakshman. Now before start the chapter, let us know about the renowned author R.K. Lakshman. The full name of R.K. Lakshman is Rashikapuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Lakshman. His famous compartment is Malgudi Days. He is not only a writer, he is an illustrator and a cartoonist. Now, Easwaran the Storyteller. Here you can see that we are pronouncing the word as Easwaran because in Tamil this H sound is always silent. So, it will be Easwaran. Easwaran. Okay. So, we will pronounce as Easwaran. Now, let us read the chapter. The story was narrated to Ganesh by a young man, Mahend, by name. So, this is a narration. The story is a narration. And it was narrated by a young person whose name was Mahend, and he told the story to Ganesh. He was a junior supervisor in a firm which offered on hire supervisors at various types of construction sites, factories, bridges, dams, and so on. So, who is this Mahend? Mahend is a junior supervisor. And he works in such a company which company supplies supervisors to different kinds of construction sites like bridge, where the bridges are being made, where the dams are being made, where the factories are being made. So, in this kind of construction sites, the company supplies the supervisors. Mahendra's job was to keep an eye on the activities at the work site. He had to keep moving from place to place every now and then as ordered by his head office. So Mahendra's work was just to supervise the work. How the work is going on, how the laborers are working, he has to keep a constant vigil on that matter. And not only that, he does not have any fixed job place because he has to move as per order of his head office. From the coal mining area to a railway bridge construction site, from then after a few months to a chemical plant which was coming up somewhere. So his work was continuously changing because sometimes he has to supervise the dam project, sometimes he has to keep a vigil on the railway bridge making, somewhere in the chemical plant like this. He was a bachelor. His needs were simple and he was able to adjust himself to all kinds of odd conditions. Whether it was an ill-equipped circuit house or a makeshift canvas tent. So, Mahend was a single person. He was not married. He was a bachelor. And as he was a bachelor, his needs were very limited. He can adjust himself in anywhere, any circumstances. It may be a tent house, it may be a circuit house. Wherever he was seen, he was able to adjust himself. The middle of a stone or quarry, whether it was an ill-equipped circuit house or a makeshift canvas tent in the middle of a stone quarry. अगर उसको कहीं stone quarry, what is the meaning of stone quarry? It's a mine place. So if he is sent to some mining place, he can also adjust himself. Mining place where no inhabitants are available, no residences are available, but he can also adjust in that such place. But one asset he had was his cook, Easwaran. The cook was quite attached to Mahend and followed him uncomplainingly wherever he was posted. There were so many difficulties in his life because he has to continuously change his working place. He has to adjust with all the odds. But among all these things, he was having an asset. What is an asset? A person who is very beneficial for somebody, and it was his cook Ishwaran. And Ishwaran was also very attached to Mahen, and he used to follow him wherever he goes, and without any complaint, without any unhappiness, without any grudges. Wherever he was posted, he cooked for Mahen, washed his clothes, and chatted away with his master at night. He could weave out endless stories and anecdotes on varied subjects. So he was not only a cook for Mahen, he washed his clothes, he cleaned up the tent house or whatever, the circuit house. Not only that, he was a constant source of entertainment for Mahen as he chatted at night with him. And there is one such a capability of Ishwaran that he could weave endless stories and anecdotes. What are anecdotes? Anecdotes are the stories which is based on the real incidents. Ishwaran also had an amazing capacity to produce vegetables and cooking ingredients, something out of nowhere in the middle of a desolate landscape with no shops visible for miles around. Not only with all these qualities or attributes like storytelling, cooking, washing, he was having a miraculous capacity. What was that? He can produce vegetables, all the cooking ingredients at such a place where there is no shops at hand. He would miraculously conjure up the most delicious dishes made with fresh vegetables within an hour of arriving at the Jingshit shelter at the new workplace. So, miraculously can consume. What is consume? It could gather all the ingredients of cooking. If it seemed to be gathering impossible because there was no shop, no locality in such a place where the desolate place, it looked like a desolate landscape. So, but he can consume all the things within a moment, and he could make delicious dishes for Mahen. Mahen would be up early in the morning and leave for work after breakfast, carrying some prepared food with him. Now, what was Mahen's daily routine? Every day in the morning, he used to wake up and he just took his breakfast and he left for office with some prepared food which was made by Ishwaran. Meanwhile, Ishwaran would tidy up the shade, wash the clothes, and have a leisurely bath, pouring several buckets of water over his head, muttering a prayer all the while. Now, as Mahen leaves his place for office, now in meantime, what Ishwaran will do? He will wash up the clothes, he will tidy up the clean shades, and then he took a leisurely bath, pouring several buckets of water on his head. And while taking bath, he also muttered the prayer. It would be lunchtime by then. After eating, he should read for a while before dozing off. Now, after that, he took a lunch, and then it was his habit to read storybooks before he dozes off. That is, before he sleeps at noon. The book was usually some popular Tamil thriller running to 100 of pages. Its imaginative descriptions and narrative flourishes would hold Ishwaran in thrill. Now, what was the specialty of this kind of Tamil thriller? The book Ishwaran used to read actually was Tamil thrillers. And this book have a special characteristics, and the characteristics was it would have run 100 pages. बहुत ही मोटी book होती थी. Not only that, it would have a very special way of telling the mysterious stories, and it thrilled Mahen in his mind. Now before I read the next paragraph, actually in the title you have seen, Ishwaran is described as a storyteller. He was a great storyteller. And storytelling is obviously an art, because if you represent a story in such a way, with the voice modulation, with your body language, you can captivate your audience. So Ishwaran had all these qualities within him. His own descriptions were greatly influenced by the Tamil authors that he read. So whatever the Tamil thrillers he used to read, his own storytelling was greatly influenced by that Tamil thrillers. When he was narrating even the smallest of incidents, he would try to work in suspense and a surprise ending into the account. So if he is describing a trifle matter also, a smallest thing, he would elaborate in such a way that the audience will become very interested. What is it? And he would make it a suspense story, and not only that, he would enter it in a surprise. For example, instead of saying that he had come across an uprooted tree of the highway, he would say, with eyebrows suitably arched and hands held out in a dramatic gesture. If he has seen an uprooted tree on the road, he would not simply say that I have seen an uprooted tree on the road. Rather, what he would do, he would arch his eyebrows. He will arch his eyebrows and stretch his hand in a dramatic gesture to make an impact in the story. The road was deserted and I was all alone. Now see how he starts the story. सड़क एकदम सुनसान था और मैं अकेला. Suddenly I spotted something that looked like an enormous bushy beast lying sprawled across the road. Suddenly what I saw a huge bushy hairy beast that is sprawling on the road, stretching its arms. I was half inclined to turn and go back, but as I came closer, I saw that it was a fallen tree with its dry branches straight out. I was not, willing to go closer to the tree, but out of curiosity, I just went closer to the tree, went to the beast, and what I found? I found it was an uprooted tree with its dry branches that is spread over on the road. Mahen would stretch himself back on his canvas chair and listen to Ishwaran's tales uncritical. His capacity of representing the story was like such that nobody could interrupt or put a question on his tone. Rather, Mahen enjoyed the story, stretching himself on the canvas chair very relaxedly and relished all his stories. The place I come from is famous for timber. Ishwaran would begin. Now, his telling a story is having a wonderful beginning. Now, here you can observe the starting of his story. He says, the place where I have come from is famous for timber. What is timber? Wood. Wood that are used for making furniture when it is dry. There is a there is a richly wooded forest all around. The logs are hauled onto the lorries by elephants. Now there is a big forest of this kind of woods, timbers, and the logs जो कटे हुए लकड़ी है वो क्या होता है, that is hauled, that is transferred with the help of the elephants in the logs. They are huge, well-fed beasts. When they turn wild, even the most experienced mount is not able to control them. Now these elephants are huge, they are well-fed, and when they turn wild or mad, even the most experienced mount, the person who trains the elephants or controls the elephant, they are also not able to control them. After this prologue, Ishwaran would launch into an elaborate anecdote involving an elephant. Now after this long prologue, इतना सब कुछ बोलने के बाद, now he starts his story that is based on a real incident of elephant. One day a tusker escaped from the timber ward and began to roam about, stomping on bushes, tearing up wild creepers and breaking branches at will. Now one day what happened? A tusker. What is a tusker? Tusker is the elephant. It turned mad and very crazily it started destroying all the things like stopping up the branches, breaking up the fences, like all the trees. You know, sir, how an elephant behaves when it goes mad. Ishwaran would get so caught up in the excitement of his own story that he would get up from his floor and jump about, stamping his feet in emulations of the mad elephants. Now, while he's telling the story, Ishwaran himself gets so much excited. Now he jumps out from the floor. वो फर्श से उठ के खड़े हो जाते हैं and he starts enacting like an elephant to make the story more live, more vivid. The elephant reached the outskirts of our town, breaking the fences down like matchsticks. He would continue. It came into the main road and smashed all the stalls selling fruits, mud pots and clothes. Now here the elephant started making a lot of destruction on the road. Coming out from the outskirts, it enters into the town and he smashed up all the stalls that are selling the mud pots, all the foods and everything. People ran helter-skelter and panic. The elephant now entered a school ground where children were playing, breaking throughout the brick wall. अब क्या होता है? People start running helter-skelter. इधर उधर वो डर के मारे, out of panic, out of fear, they started running here, there. Not only that, what happens afterwards? It enters into a school building, picking up the brick wall, and where the children were playing in the field. All the boys ran into the classrooms and shut the doors tight. The beast grunted and wandered about, pulling out the football goalpost, tearing down the volleyball net, kicking and flattening the drums kept for waters, and uprooting the shrubs. Now, बच्चे डर के मारे, they just went to the classroom and locked the door. And the tusker made a huge destruction in the school building. It uprooted the goalpost, it tore up the volleyball net, it flattened up the pots that were kept for water. It made a huge destruction in the school. Meanwhile, all the teachers had climbed up to the terrace of the school building. From there, they helplessly watched the depredations of the elephant. to the terrace of the school building. From there, they helplessly watched the depredations of the elephant. The teachers became so much helpless that they took shelter on the roof, and from there only helplessly they watched the destruction, the damages that was created by the elephants. There was not a soul below the ground. The streets were empty, as if the inhabitants of the entire town had suddenly disappeared. Now, out of fear, out of scare of the elephant, the roads became empty, and it was seeming like that there was not a single inhabitant who was living in the place. I was studying in the junior class at that time and was watching the whole drama from the rooftop. At that time, Eastwaran was a mere schoolboy. He was a tiny boy reading in the junior section of the school, and he was watching all the drama from there. I don't know what came over me suddenly. I grabbed a cane from the hands of one of the teachers and ran down the stairs and into the open. Then what Eastwaran did, though he was a very tiny, very small boy, he snatched a cane because something came into his mind, something possessed over his mind, and what he did, he just took a cane from his teacher's hand and came in front of the elephant. It stamped the feet, knocking up a lot of mud and dust. It looked frightening, but I moved slowly towards it, stick in hand. Now after seeing Israel, the beast became more furious. It looked very horrible, and it stamped up his feet and blew up so much mud and dust. But Israel was not frightened. It came closer to the elephant. People were watching the scene, hypnotized from nearby house tops. Now what happened? Everyone became spellbound, hypnotized after seeing the activities of such a small boy who was just facing the elephant with a stick. The elephants looked at me red-eyed, ready to rush towards me. The beast became very much angry and he was ready to attack Eastwaran. It lifted its trunk and trumped loudly. आप क्या किए? उसने अपना ट्रंक को ऊपर किए और he just made a loud sound, trumped. At that moment, I moved forward and mustering all my force, met its third toenail on the pig. Now Eastwaran did not got fear. He mustered up, he gathered all the courages and he just stuck on the third toenail of the elephant. The beast looked stunned for a moment. Then it shivered from head to foot and collapsed. The beast was surprised for a moment, and then it shivered, it quivered, and then it collapsed. It fell down on the ground. At this point, Eastwaran could leave the story unfinished and got up mumbling, I will be back after lighting the gas and warming up the tea. Here see the cleverness, see the trick of Eastwaran. He did not complete the story. He did not come to the end of the story very instantly. What he did? He stopped the story and he mumbled. He had to go to warm up the dinner because he wanted to keep a suspense in the story, and that was the art of his telling the story. Mahek, who had been listening with rapt attention, could be left hanging. बेचारा महक अब तो बहुत ज़्यादा rapt attention, with deep attention, he was listening to the story. Now he left hanging. He left helpless over there. He did not know what was the end of the story. He was very much queer about that. When he returned, Eastwaran would not pick up the thread of the story right away. अब जब वो लौट के भी आते हैं खाना गर्म करके, तुरंत वो अपना स्टोरी शुरू नहीं करते. He does not lift up the thread of the story very quickly, instantly. Mahen would have to remind him that the conclusion was pending. Now Mahen gave him the reminder. What was at the end of the story, Iswaran? You have not told me the finishing. Well, a veterinary doctor was summoned to revive the animal. हाँ, ऐसा है. एक वेटरनरी डॉक्टर, जो जानवर की जो डॉक्टर है, उनको बुलाया जाता है. किसके लिए? For what? To revive the animal. Iswaran would shrug casually. 2 days later, it was laid away by its mouth in the tree. Then Iswaran very casually, shrugging, without indifference. 2 दिन के बाद वो माहौत आते हैं और उसको जंगल की तरह ले जाते हैं. Well, how did you manage to do it, Iswaran? How did you bring down the beast? The man was very curious. Iswaran, how did you do that great job? How did you come down that wild beast? It is something to do with Japanese art. I think so. Karate or Jujutsu is called. I had read about it somewhere. It temporarily paralyzes the nervous system, you see. Now Iswaran, in a very indifferent manner, he told that something, it is a Japanese art. I have heard somewhere else that it was something called karate or jujutsu, which if you apply on the beast, it paralyzes the person for some time. Not a day passed without Iswaran recounting some story packed with adventure, horror and suspense. There was not a single day that passed in the life of Mahen when Iswaran does not tell him a story with horror, suspense, thrill, error. Whether the story was credible or not, whether the story was trustworthy or not. Mahen enjoyed listening to it because of the inimitable way in which it was told. Mahen had to believe in the story or to enjoy the story because the way Iswaran represented the story, it was incredible. It was really awesome. Iswaran seemed to more than make up for the absence of TV in Mahendra's living quarters. Now, in the very beginning, we came to know that Mahendra did not have any permanent residence. He had to always move from place to place where not all the facilities were available to him. And in such quarters or in such living place, there was absence of TV. But Mahendra did not feel the absence of television because of Iswaran, and as Iswaran was a constant source of entertainment for him. One morning when Mahen was having breakfast, Iswaran asked, "Can I make something special for dinner tonight? So, after all, today is an auspicious day. According to traditions, we prepare various delicates to feed the spirits of our ancestors today, sir." Now, one day, while Mahen was having his breakfast, Iswaran proposed that he would prepare some special dishes for tonight at night, as it was a very auspicious day, and on that day, people according to the Tamil rituals, people used to dedicate the special dishes or delicious dishes to the spirit of the ancestors. That night, Mahen enjoyed the most delicious dinner and complimented Iswaran on his culinary skills. Now, Mahen was, too much happy to have some delicious dishes which was made by Iswaran, and he could not but give the compliment to Iswaran for his culinary skills. culinary skill? Culinary skill is the skill of cooking. Culinary. He seemed very pleased, but unexpectedly launched into a most garish account involving the supernatural. Now, Ishwaran became very happy of getting the compliment, but all of a sudden, he just made up some comments of some garish matters of the supernatural thing. What is garish? Like unhappy, unpleasant things. You know, sir, this interfactory area we are occupying was once a burial ground. Now, what he said? He said, आपको पता है सर, ये जो फैक्ट्री एरिया है जहाँ हम लोग रह रहे हैं, it was previously a burial ground. He started. Mahin was jerked out of the pleasant reverie he had drifted into after the satisfying meal. Now, after listening that the factory was a burial ground, Mahin just jerked up from the reverie. What is the reverie? The pleasant dream, the pleasant daydreaming. Okay, so from the reverie he just jerked up because he was in a reverie. Why? He had having a very pleasant, very nice dinner that night. I knew on the first day itself when I saw Yumi's skull being on the path, lying on the path. Even now, I come across a number of skulls and bones. Ishwaran continued. Ishwaran said, the very first day when he came to the factory ground, he was knowing about that it was a burial ground because he had seen so many skulls and bones. Till today, he could see the bones and skulls on the ground. He went on to narrate how he sometimes saw ghosts at night. अब वो कंटिन्यू करता रहा कि हाँ कैसे वो उसको भूत दिखते हैं रात में. I'm not easily frightened by these things. I'm a brave fellow. Now he also adds that he is not a person to be frightened of ghosts because he is very brave. But one horrible ghost of a woman which appears off and on at midnight during the full moon. लेकिन एक चुड़ैल, एक female ghost that seems very ugly, that appears often and frequently in the full moon night. It is an ugly creature with matted hair and a shriveled face. The appearance of the female ghost is very ugly. It is having matted hair, wrinkled face, like a skeleton holding a fetus in the arms. It just looks like a skeleton, कंकाल की तरह दिखती है वो. और उसके हाथ में क्या है? She is having a fetus, that is an unborn baby. Mahin shivered at the description and interrupted rather sharply. Mahin was too much annoyed with the description actually. In the mind of mine, he got frightened. So he scolded, interrupted Ishwaran sharply. You crazy Ishwaran? There are no such things just as ghosts or spirits. It is all a figment of your imagination. Get your digestive system examined and maybe your head as well. You are talking nonsense. Now, how he scolded Ishwaran? Are you crazy Ishwaran? There is nothing. No, nothing exists like the spirit of the ghosts. It is all your imagination. Now he advised Ishwaran to get his digestive system as well as his head examined, because if people's digestive system does not work properly, it gives, some imaginary figures or like this, nightmares and all. He left the room and returned for the night, expecting Ishwaran to discuss. Now, after scolding Ishwaran, he also advised him to get his digestive system examined, because if someone's digestive system does not work properly, it is having some, imaginative production of mind, and it weighs some scary things in his mind. So he advised Iswaran to get his digestive system examined, and not only that, his head also. He left the room and returned for the night, expecting Iswaran to sulk for a couple of days. But the next morning, he was surprised to find the cook as cheerful and talkative as ever. So for that night, Mahant returned, went off to his room, and he expected that as he has scolded Iswaran such in a bad way, the cook will remain quiet for some days. But he was surprised when he saw the next morning the cook was very cheerful and as talkative as usual. From that day on, Mahant, for all his brave talk, went to bed with a certain unease. Every night he peered into the darkness outside through the window next to his bed, trying to make sure that there is no movement of dark shapes in the vicinity. Now from that night, that brave Mahant, he becomes a bit scared in his mind of minds. And when it is very dark, he peeped from his window and he tries to discover some ghost, the movement of ghost in the vicinity, the adjacent areas. But he could only see a sea of darkness with the twinkling lights of the factory miles away. But he could not discover any ghost in the darkness. Only what he can find the darkness, the entire darkness, and among the darkness there was a twinkling of lights which comes from the factories miles away. He had always liked to admire the milk-white landscape on full moon nights. He was a lover of nature. He admired the full moon night when the entire world is floated up the moonlight. But after hearing Iswaran's story of the female ghost, he avoided looking out of his window altogether when the moon was full. But from the very day when Iswaran narrated the story, he now avoids to look out from the window because there is a fear in his mind that he could also see the female ghost in the full moon night. One night, Mahant was woken up from sleep by a low moon close to his window. One full moon night, what happened to Mahant? Now he was woken up by a low moaning sound which was coming near his window. At first, he put it down to a cat prowling around for mice. But the sound was too guttural for a cat. अब क्या है? उसने पहले सोचा कोई बिल्ली होगा चूहे के पीछे भाग रहा है आवाज निकल रहा है. But the sound was too guttural. It was coming from the throat of very harsh sound which was coming from the throat, and it cannot be made by a cat. He resisted the curiosity to look out lest he should behold a sight which would stop his heart. अब उसने अपने आप को रोक लिए क्योंकि हो सकता है कुछ ऐसा उसको दिख जाए जो उसको सांस को थाम ले. So he just resisted himself to look out of the window. But the wailing became louder and less feline. But the sound that was coming, it becomes louder, and it cannot be possessed of a cat. It cannot be possessed by a cat. Feline means the animals that are related to the cat family. He could not resist the temptation and more. Lowering himself to the level of the window, he looked out at the wide sheet of moonlight outside. Now he could not resist his temptation. अब उसने क्या किया? He just lowered him down to the window sill and looked out in the moonlit night outside. The night was floated by the moonlight. There, not too far away, was a dark, cloudy form clutching a bundle. What he discovers? He discovers a cloudy shape, a ghostly shape, which was holding a bundle in her arm. Mahen broke into cool sweat and fell back on the pillow, panting. अब महन जैसे नहाने पसीने से, and he was just back on his pillow. He was panting. What is panting? He was taking his breath very forcefully. As he gradually recovered from the ghastly experience, he began to reason with himself and finally concluded that it must have been some sort of auto-suggestions, some trick that his subconscious had played on him. After a while, he recovered from that ghastly experience and he consoled himself that it must be his auto-suggestion. ये उसकी अपनी दिमाग की उपज है. It was just a production of his own mind, because in his subconscious mind there is a role of that story that was narrated by Mahen, and that has played a role in his mind. By the time he had got up in the morning, had a bath and come out to have his breakfast, the horror of the previous night had faded from his memory. In the next morning, as usual, Mahen got up, took his bath and was ready to have his breakfast. And he forgot everything. He just wanted to forget everything about the horrible experience that he has experienced the previous night. Easwaran greeted him all at the door with his lunch packet and the bag. Just as Mahen was stepping out, Easwaran grinned and said, as usual, every day, Easwaran greeted Mahen with the lunch box and office bag, and he greeted him and grinned. चौड़ी से smile देके Mahen की तरफ देखे and बताए, sir, remember the other day when I was telling you about the female ghost with the officers in the arms? You were so angry with me for imagining things. याद है आपको उस दिन जब मैं वो फीमेल घोस्ट के बारे में आपको बताया था और वो उसके हाथ में एक अनमोल बेबी है, आप कितना गुस्सा किए थे मुझ पे, and you also scolded me and also you were very much annoyed with me for my imagination. When you saw her yourself last night, और कल तो आपने खुद ही उसको देख ली ना. I keep running, hearing the sound of moaning that was coming from your room. Easwaran told that he also came out from his room and he heard the sound of moaning which was coming from Mahen's room. A chill went down my spine. एक चील जैसे कोई डर की एक आभास उसकी spine से बहता चला गया. When we get too much scared or afraid, a chill runs from our spines. He did not wait for Easwaran to complete his sentence. He hurried away to his office and handed in his paper, resolving to leave the haunted place the very next day. Mahen understood that the place is really haunted. So he did not wait Easwaran to complete his words. He just rushed to his office, he handed his resignation and he decided to leave the